You can't run a successful YouTube channel with millions of subscribers without also having a business.
I was actually reflecting, I think it's one of my top 2 wildest experiences in life, which is a bold statement.
I think I could process for the rest of my life. Like, there's no wisdom without pain.
I can only see this far because I've sat on the shoulders of giants.
We need to talk about this. It can't be like, you can't just pretend my mom is fucking not gone.
We are standing live again. It's always fun to start like a podcast, like what do you say the first word. So yeah, welcome ladies and gentlemen out there in the world on the internet. We are back again. We had a break for 2 episodes, 2 Sundays. We apologize, but we've been deep, right?
It will become clear why we had to skip a couple of weeks. It will become clear. And
what do you feel about the recent weeks?
I think it's like one of the rare moments where I feel like we really went and sought the edge of yes, there are stories, adventure in the world. Like, I think there's a handful of adventures, travels, episodes that match this level of like maybe 1, 2, 3 of craziness. So we're about to release, I believe, the craziest series that we've had on the channel, and I hope some of the best stories as well.
I have a good feeling.
I have a good feeling as well, and we really, sometimes you create a challenge out of an adventure to create more adventure, right?
Mm-hmm.
But here, the adventure took us, like real things happened.
It literally took us.
And we had to actually survive. So it's going to be a wild one to see how you viewers here react to these stories, because they're definitely very unique in the Yes Theory sphere. Yeah, we've never serialized something in this way before, but each story does really stand on its own legs. It's not like one adventure that we split in 3 parts. Like, it's 3 very distinct things that happened.
We can call them 3 insane adventures, especially the second one and the third one. But the first one coming next Sunday, like this video and podcast episode, regardless if you're listening or watching now, is being launched 2 days after we record this. But yeah, I'm Staffan. Hello, everyone.
I'm Thomas.
Good to have you here on our 6th episode on this podcast. I'm excited. Like, thank you to everyone sending messages as well. Like, everyone, and I told you many times, right? Look what someone wrote here. Look what someone wrote here. Yeah. And it's not about the comment itself. It's like the energy behind it, right? I said it in a previous episode as well. But cheers to everyone listening, tuning in. Someone told me that it sounds like you're hanging out with friends, and we really wish to be like that, right?
Yeah.
You and me always have these conversations during dinners, during flights, during mornings, during whatever. But now we actually record them. Good to see you again, bro. We didn't see each other for 48 hours.
It's been a long time. After spending 2 months like sharing hotel rooms and taxis and...
Wow, we just spent so much time together. We just been on a 2-month trip in Asia. It was wild. It was amazing. 3 episodes are out from this 4. We recorded 4 more episodes coming out. 7 in total. But we spent literally 60 days together, you and me. And then you went back to Paris. We're in Paris right now, in the Yes House in Paris. But you went home 2 days before me for some family matters. And I just stayed in Korea for 2 days. Used to
wind down. I mean, I think probably people can relate to the feeling of being on a very intense trip for a long time away from home. Maybe not everyone can relate to it, but grief that comes with it.
Yeah, I would say even if you're in your hometown and done some like wild experience or an adventure in your own hometown, right, and coming home, it's like, I think the feeling is universal in that sense still.
Yeah.
But yeah, continue.
I just think there's like grief that comes from like all the people that you met and realizing maybe you don't realize it, but you might never meet some of those people ever again, right? And then you made life-changing encounters, and there's like a mix of lessons and mistakes that you made, and there's all these things to process, but you don't really have time to, like too much happened to be able to take them one at a time. You just sort of have to see what you have space to comprehend and digest, because people see our trips, I think, and they get to tag along on some of it, but there's a lot that happens around it that people don't see, that is challenging sometimes that is amazing and beautiful. And all of that is a lot to unpack, and you can't unpack all of it. You can't. There's no time. Otherwise, I think I could process for the rest of my life like what I've already experienced in these adventures for the last 10 years.
But a quick note and commentary on that, because you and me have been tuning in, right? When we said bye to each other in Korea, in Seoul, I literally told you, right? Like, bro, let's stay together now. It might be tough, because we've been staying as a team, and
it's a roller coaster.
it is a roller coaster.
And you know that it's like now you're on the way down, right?
Yeah.
Like the adrenaline is over, the dopamine is over, the high from the experience is done, and now the physical tiredness is catching up. The like realizing like, wait, holy shit, but that was a little risky, right? What we just did, and
in this case, yes,
yeah. And like I think coming to terms with certain things and realizing like, okay, well, like that was a lot, and a lot of things happened, and I think the moment of quietness when you come home and it's like, oh, I'm here with myself again. Here we are, and it's discomfort that is like very real that we never document or talk about really, because it's finding yourself again, right? Like looking at yourself in the mirror and being like, oh, I'm back with me.
And you look at your mistakes, right? As you said, that hit me when you said that, because you do mistakes, right? And it also hit me with saying goodbye to people. I teared up when we said bye to our former ex-spy dude that we're going to tell you more about. That's a story. But I teared up when we said bye to him, Vlad. So shall we do a little quick check-in, you and me, because we met up like half an hour ago. How you been the recent 48 hours? Like,
I've been better in other times. I think it's just like overwhelming. I think to come home and like my heater is broken, so I have no heat.
You told me, yeah.
So it's freezing in my apartment. I have to wear like gloves inside my place. Like I'm so fucking cold. Yeah. So that sucks, and like my apartment's a mess, and I like don't have the energy to clean up after myself. Yeah. Like my suitcase is still just on the floor.
And you're single.
And I'm single, and that's another issue, but that's a much bigger problem.
No. We're still rooting for Thomas' love life.
Sometimes I'm like, wow, it would be nice to feel a little taken care of, because I take care of myself all the time like an adult. But if I could come home and someone for just 2 days could just like help me, like that would be really nice.
And you take care of me a bit when we're traveling. I do. I take care about you as well, but you do sometimes take that role.
I'm definitely dad on the trip.
Yeah,
definitely dad.
For sure.
And sometimes it's nice to have someone to help you. But no, I mean, I think I'm realizing to not get too existential, because the physical tiredness is easy to become more negative when you feel physically tired. So I'm just working out, and I'm just like, I've been shopping food and like just doing normal life things a little bit. The problem is there's so many other things going on. Like people don't see the side of what we have to do, but you can't run a successful YouTube channel with millions of subscribers without also having a business that is like exists as a part of it. Like it is impossible. It doesn't exist. There is no Yes Theory without also thinking about brand partnerships and like employees and like thumbnails, and like there's a lot of things that need to get done.
Other problems.
And sometimes you have logistical issues. You have like a bunch of stuff that you have to do. And
but do you feel, sort of interrupting you, do you feel that almost become an escape as well, for you to feel what you need to feel when you come home and have a lot of stuff to process? Do you like run into work and like
No, I mean there's just things to do. Like there's just things that we haven't done, that have been waiting for us for weeks, and people have been like somewhat patient and understanding that we can't do it right now.
No, I agree. Yeah. But I also know that like you're gonna understand when you see this episode coming out. It was, excuse me for steering, but it was fucking insane what we just experienced. I've been like,
But this weekend I'll try to take it easy.
Yeah.
I'll try to take it easy. And I've been trying to do those things. I haven't been pushing myself like super hard, but there are messages that I'm like catching up on, right? Like I need to fix my heater. Like I wanted to just lay down on the couch, but I've had to get a technician come over. I now have to fill out. It's going to cost $5,000 to replace it.
$5,000?
$5,000. I found that yesterday. 5,000 euros. So $6,500.
But do you have an insurance, right?
No.
No insurance?
No, I have to pay for this myself. This is like a replacement.
But in Sweden, we always have insurance. Now we're not in Sweden, but...
I mean, I'm pretty sure I have to pay for this myself.
But bro, that sucks, man.
So I just found out yesterday.
Yeah, that's
the good news that I'm home too. Like, wow, that's a big chunk of money right there.
Yeah.
So it's fun times to come home and realize these things, being like, wow, it's a good chunk of money going out. It is what it is. This is people finding out that we're actually human beings and have normal things to deal with, normal problems, painful problems, expensive problems. But on another note, just how was you stayed in Korea? Like, how was that?
I told you a bit, right? I texted you as well. I was like, bro, I'm a little bit sad. I texted you that.
When you texted me that, I was like under my blanket on the couch, and I was like, "Fuck!" I was like,
You were on the blanket then.
yeah, like we're struggling right now. We're not thriving.
And we're not trying to like, victimize ourselves, etc. But I just enjoy talking about it as well. Especially, I think personally that some people see me sometimes, as the positive guy. I know for you as well and for all of us, but I just don't like being seen as the positive guy when I know, like, we covered it in some podcast episodes, pains in our life and these things. But yeah, life is challenging sometimes, and for sure after an experiences like this, and we're going to tell more, and this actually we're going to be able to speak about. You're going to see it in the upcoming YouTube videos. We're not going to be secretive in any way. It's coming out. It's going to be out there, and it's for sure. I was actually reflecting. I think it's one of my top 2 wildest experiences in life, which is a bold statement. But yeah, I think life just caught up on me a bit. One of the days in Seoul, Korea, I spent 17 hours in my hotel room. I took it very easy. I was in my hotel room and watched a movie. And then also, some emotions came. I texted you and I was like, I'm a little bit sad. And I was crying quite a lot. We've been, holding on literally for our lives. Cliffhanger. We've been holding on quite a bit. And I just think I needed to, I think it's okay. I journal that my soul needed to exhale. So I think it's like that sometimes. And I felt it as well a couple of days before it happened as well, that it was something common. But then also other stuff came up, when the tears came. That life is sometimes, yes, brother. Yeah. I want to like avoid crying too much now, but yeah, it's tough sometimes.
Good that you let it out though.
Yeah, cheers, bro. And I'm looking at you now, but I just want to say thanks again. You're a rock on the road, and I told you that as well. Because one time when we were traveling as well, I cried quite a lot, which will not be in any video. But you were there for me, really supported. And I saw, by the way, that Corey captured that in one of the videos, but it's not in the video and it's not shown that I'm crying. But when we are walking in a video that is being released in a week from now, we're walking on the beach and you're holding a hand on me. So whoever is listening now, if you see that video, that's when I'm like crying, but it's not used in the video as me crying.
Right.
But whoever is listening and tuning in will see that was a moment when we were in the island.
For sure.
Yeah, and I want to come back to again that it's normal, right? I don't want to suppress these things, but life it goes in a high tempo sometimes, including for us when we film sometimes. We don't have time to stop even sometimes. And I just want to say merci and thank you for giving me the space on the trip there, but also having a friendship and a brotherhood that I could actually text you from Korea saying that I'm a little sad instead of, as I often do, and maybe people do that as well who are listening now. My normal way is to just bottle up, but a little bit sad now, but I'll rise again.
I think it's an important skill to develop, being able to not let things, I think most people bottle up. Then it's like you take a credit on yourself. Like you can take that credit and you can keep extending it, but one day it'll catch up, right? Like one day it hits you. And then the longer you've delayed it, and the larger the emotion that you've delayed, the more painful it is going to be when it arrives. So it's better to have these small moments, right? Where you like allow yourself to be sad and like process whatever those things are to come back.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've read the book called Antifragile by, I think his name is Nassim Taleb.
I have not. Please tell me.
So it's a very wordy book. It's like you read it, every page you're like, what the fuck? You need like time to process. Every single page is so dense with information.
Wow.
Like when I read it, I read 1 or 2 pages a day because it was just too much to like go through it. I was like, I can't read more than 2 pages.
It's like a lot of wisdom in it, or it's like
a lot of wisdom, but
process.
also like he just has condensed so much information, and like he uses pretty advanced words that like summarizes concepts, and so it's like you have to like hang in there when you're reading it. But it's really good. But the basic idea is that you need moments, temporary moments of breaking down to become stronger.
Say that again?
Natural systems, humans, anything that built by humans, like even he uses the example of forest fires as an example. So forest fires naturally have small fires. Technically, before we started affecting the environment, forests would burn all the time. But a small portion of the forest would burn and it would reset the soil and then it would regrow, right? But now we stop forest fires from happening because there's houses around, right? So what happens is more and more things pile up at the bottom of the forest, like leaves and dead trees and like all this stuff that typically would have burnt away if smaller forest fires were allowed, right? So what happens is one day, after 10, 20 years, a huge fire breaks out, which is what's happened in California, right? And in many other places, because we've been preventing the smaller forest fires from happening. And so what he's saying is, for a system to be anti-fragile, you have to allow it to break down once in a while and fix itself. One thing that he's saying is, it's better to have these small crashes that happen temporarily to avoid a big crash later that he says will be net much bigger. Like much bigger than if you allow a small crash and then you come back, you become stronger and stronger. And the system has to evolve and get stronger to keep the crashes from sort of happening. But if you just basically avoid it, numb the system, prevent any crash from happening, you know, or like protect it in a way that is unnatural, then it goes like that, and then boom, huge crash, which is what has happened with like the banks in 2008 and like forest fires around the world. And so his whole thesis around the book is, to be anti-fragile, you have to allow small breakdowns. The bit by bit, the system becomes stronger, because then you have to analyze, why did that small breakdown happen? You know, okay, wow, now I'm learning more about myself and I'm becoming stronger and I'm allowing things to happen. And then tomorrow, you're much stronger than you were the day before, because you've allowed those things to come through you, right?
Yeah.
So that book was very interesting to me when I was younger. I read it in like my mid-20s.
How did it affect you? How did it, like, what was your takeaway from it, would you say, if you would summarize?
I think just realizing that small moments of lows is a good thing, like both on a personal level and on a business, whatever even if it's your dream that you're building, or I think having a moment of breakdown and then tinkering and fixing and then coming back from it, it's a good thing. Let's say even in a friendship, right? It's much better to, if something happened that you need to talk about, it's better to talk about it, like maybe not in the spur of the emotion of the moment, but like a little bit after, so that resentment doesn't grow, right? And then one day you wake up years later and you have this pile of things that you're upset about, you know, or in relationships too, right?
Any conflict you want to bring up with me now?
No, I think we're actually pretty good at it, at getting it out. Yeah,
we really are. We had some fights on the trip, by the way, these 2 months.
Yeah,
I really reflect about it. It felt like true sibling love, you know, sibling fight, you know. You know, it was one time there on the island, you know, where I'm talking about, when it's like, you know, can you take my shoes? And I was like, you were busy, and I was like, why do I even share this now? I was like, silly. I was like, okay, I'll remember this lesson.
yeah. I didn't grab Staffan's shoes because I was carrying his food, and then he got upset at me. And I was like, dude, I'm carrying everything. I'm literally carrying everything. Like, I can't also grab your shoes.
I'm showing my bad sides now.
But it's okay. I also like, I think during that trip, I was also like, dude, we're just tired also. Like,
bro, yeah. Can we talk about what happened yet? No, we wait, right? It will come to the video. Or people who are listening now, we got in an emergency situation. It's okay to say that, right?
Yeah.
But I think we save it, right? We'll talk more about it.
Yeah.
It's not being secretive or mysterious now.
No,
again,
it will come. It's just we don't want to spoil everything.
We don't want to spoil. We wanna save some good stuff. But we got in an emergency situation. I think it's okay as well for us to be a bit grumpy and all of that. But the beautiful thing with this conflict as well was, for me, was your sibling Rob. Like, we just, and as often as well, we figure it out. We talk about it. Not even for a long time. We just look at each other and then we continue.
Yeah, but I think it's just, I think when you're tired and like these things like happen. If I'm tired and hungry, which I was for a week straight, like things are gonna happen, you know. And it's, some things are like, when they become patterns, then you need to like sort of address it, you know. But if it's like a small thing like that where we like got, you know, sassy with each other for no reason, it's like, okay, let's just move on, you know. Like, sometimes it's worth talking about, sometimes I think it's fine.
It's anti-fragile, right? Things happen, talk about them, a small fire to avoid the big ones, and then you continue.
Yeah, you got it. You got the concept. Exactly. Small fires to avoid the big ones. That's exactly the best summary of it.
I love this concept. I'm going to start thinking like this probably. Hopefully it'll be valuable for people listening as well, because...
Nassim Taleb is a great
Shall we maybe...
author.
Say it again?
Nassim Taleb, the author.
Mm-hmm.
He's written some like very good books, and he's like known amongst the... It's a little bit more like scholarly, like self-improvement. Yeah, it's like for people that like to read dense shit, you know, like some of my friends that read Nassim Taleb, like they're the most cerebral, like intelligent, you know, because it's a lot to dive through, you know, but it's worthwhile if you can charge your way through the book. It's like, it's worth it.
Didn't you mention something about when a fire happens, the soil also
Yeah, it resets, it regenerates.
resets and generates?
And then it grows better afterwards.
So it's really needed for it to happen, yeah. Okay, but then I don't know if this is, you know, but in our friendship, I'm inviting for you and me to keep on talking about small fires, you know. Like
Yeah,
I
for
really like it.
For sure.
Like next time something happens, like small fire.
I mean, I think especially, in romantic relationships, because we spend a lot of time together, so that's why we need these
I
conversations.
was thinking romantically as well, of like, you know, I was thinking romantically as well in the sense of, sorry I interrupted you now,
Yeah.
but I was thinking about it right now, because if you don't talk about these conflicts, right, it becomes bad. Like with...
I mean, think about the fact that we spent 2 months together, right? That's a lot, but then most of the time we were able to afford 2 separate hotel rooms. But in a relationship, you're staying in the same room, right? So if you don't address something and you both go to bed a little upset with each other, which happens, right? But those things compound over time, right? And I learned that in my ex-relationship, that there was certain things that like I didn't address because I just like, you kind of want to keep the vibe like, okay, you know, like you don't want to, like it's hard to bring up something, you know, that upset you and it's a little awkward and maybe it's something specific that, you know, might hurt their feelings to tell them, you know, or like you don't know how to express it. So then you don't do it. And then the next day, like they forgot to, you know, put their plate away and like now you're super frustrated at like a small thing because you didn't address the real thing, which was yesterday, right? But you didn't do it because you didn't want to like mess the vibe. But then you're paying for it in resentment, which is actually the most unkind thing to do, right?
Exactly.
There's a huge difference between being nice and being kind. And being kind, this is something I had to learn the hard way because I think I was a little bit caught in people pleasing when I was younger. And I thought that to be nice, you had to just always kind of sort of like, never wanted to like give people feedback or anything like that because it like might hurt their feelings, right? And I realized it's actually an incredibly unkind thing to do. You're not giving them an opportunity to know what's going on inside of you. And you're not giving them an opportunity to potentially learn and grow in something that they don't know that they're doing. The most kind thing you can do is to express a piece of feedback very thoughtfully and mindfully. And yeah, trying to be nice and like not hurt someone's feelings is actually harmful to everyone. To you, to them, to even other people around them that maybe also have not been giving them that feedback. Yeah, learning that honesty is actually kind, especially if you can do it intentionally,
Kindest
was
thing
one
out
of the
there,
bigger
right?
lessons in my 20s, for sure.
Same here. Like I was a master of people pleasing. Many of us.
Do you
most
think
of
it's
us.
because we're Swedish?
I think for sure it's part of that because we Swedes are like eating cinema buns and it's like everyone.
Well,
sit
Swedes
down.
never want to hurt anyone's feelings.
Yeah.
Like Sweden is really the opposite of anti-fragile when it comes to human relationships. Like Sweden is the most fragile. You know, it's like people don't talk to each other, you know, honestly, right? And I haven't lived in Sweden, but I grew up with a Swedish family and background, and my family is actually radically open compared to other Swedish
for
families.
sure,
But
for
when
sure.
I go to Sweden several times a year, I'm like noticing like, especially the older you get, I think. This has been something that's fucked me up too, which is realizing like so many adults have no fucking idea what they're doing.
In what sense? Like in
Just life,
communication or
like
in general?
yeah, in communication. Like
Yeah.
seeing how some adults have handled like my mom passing, I'm realizing like how unequipped emotionally like 90% of the world is. Like seeing how some people don't know what to say at all, you know, or like even like I've had some adults like avoid talking to me about it completely, even though they were like my mom's friends. So I had dinner with some like family friends a few months ago. Most of like my mom's closest friends, we talked to her about her all the time at dinner, you know, and everyone's fine speaking about her. But this situation was just weird. It's like we didn't even address it, you know, and it's like I brought her up at some point and I could tell it made them uncomfortable. And it's like, we need to talk about this. They can't be like, can't just pretend my mom is fucking not gone. You know what I mean? Like we've all had dinner together with my mom. We can talk about her and we don't need to be weird about it, you know? And you realize when you grow up, like, wow, so many adults, I think emotionally, like are very lacking.
I think there is like, you know, 3 sorts of intelligence.
Yeah.
I think you heard me talk about this, right? It's IQ, people know. EQ, most people know, emotional intelligence. And then SQ, soul intelligence. And I think many people are lacking both EQ and SQ.
Yeah.
And
you're very good at both of those.
cheers, brother. Cheers, brother. Still. Thank you. I'm trying to push away the compliment now. I'll say thank you.
I've learned a lot from you
No.
and how
Cheers.
you're able to just like you don't get uncomfortable if someone is like feeling emotional. Like you don't get uncomfortable with it.
And I had to arrive there because I was not there just by myself. Just to clarify, because I didn't, all love to my parents, but I didn't get it necessarily from my parents. I didn't get it from school, but I had to learn it. Yeah.
It's funny because I've now gotten used to how like emotionally grounded you are in certain moments. Like if I'm having a moment where I like need to let the emotions out, like I feel like you receive it very well. And I had a moment which I haven't told you, it was a bit weird, but like I started crying talking about my mom to this person, and they like changed topic, like as I still had tears in my eyes, because they couldn't be with the emotion. And I was like so like shocked, I was like, I still had tears in my eyes, and they changed topic because they like couldn't sit with the emotion. They couldn't even like just let me have a moment where I needed to cry, like just 10 seconds. It's not like I've been crying for 15 minutes. Like I just had a moment where I needed to pause.
The soul needed to exhale, right?
Yeah, it just came, and most of the time I'm able to speak about her now without falling into like a cry attack, But in that moment,
if it happens, it's okay as well.
Yeah, those tears came, and like I felt like I didn't want to hold them back, so I let them come. And then like as I'm still like wiping my tears, they just changed topic, and I was like, "The fuck?" And they like knew my mom. It was just a weird situation where I'm like, people have no fucking clue what they're doing. It's like we've forgotten to, and this person is very intelligent, so it's like
IQ, yeah.
Yeah,
Probably.
but it's maybe you have an idea on why you think that is, but I think that we're so disconnected from death, especially, that we're not able. We're never trained to learn how to cope with it, right? And I think we used to be much more spiritual. Even we had like superstitious beliefs, right? But we believed in life after death and like spirits, and we used to believe in these things, right? And when you think about ancient like Mayas or Vikings who believed in all these like at least it gave you some sense of spiritual grounding, right? And I also think we were so much closer to death at that time because it was very common to lose a child. Every single mother essentially lost multiple children before they turned 10, right? So imagine the grief and the pain, right? That every single
the
mother,
kids didn't make it till they were like 10. Yeah, they were often
most of them.
Either barnadöd, like death by being born, or like you're dying when you're like 4 or
Exactly.
6.
So the amount of grief that people had to face, I think, made them more spiritual. Now, death happens away from us, right? They happen like at the hospital, and like it's like we're not like how many people have sat with a person as they pass away? Right? Very, 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 very few. And it's I think it's made us disconnected from the reality of like, guys, we're human beings. Let's stop pretending like this is, we have to go to work and like I have to do I have a to-do list, and it's like, let's just realize that this experience is absurd and we need to take care of each other and be together,
We spoke about this, right, in one of the breakfasts when we were on the island, right? Off camera, once again, one of our unofficial podcasts, but like, the absurdity of like, that we're down here and then just running around and trying to like, pretend and grasp like we know what we do. But I think the bravest and most courageous people are the ones who dare that, to say that we don't know, but we can explore, right? And we got many beautiful comments from our first episode when we spoke about, spirituality and the concept of the reality we're living, right? You know what I always do when I come home, right, from a trip. When I arrive to my door after a big trip, I did yesterday as well, coming home from a 2-month trip, as we know. And then I look up at the sky. I don't care if like neighbors or people on the street. It happened now as well. Like people walked past me, and I was just standing there with my suitcases, like 2 suitcases, 2 big bags as well, because I've been collecting stuff. And then I look up at the sky, and thank the ancestors, thank my grandpa, thank my grandma on both mom and dad's side, thanking Helena, for protection and guidance, your mom, thanking, other ancestors. And it grounds me. That's what I start to think about it now, because we don't ground each other really right in the world we're living in now. But I personally love these kind of things because, it makes us come back to, where we are now, and people who walked before us, for us to be here now. And I don't have any answers or So on the greatest adventures, all of them, right, the day when we die, but we for sure avoid the topic. But with all respect, I find it interesting more the topic. Like sometimes it can become, very big, and I have existential moments to it. But I've had a lot of enjoyments to talking about these things. I find more comfort talking about it than avoiding it. And I have friends who fully avoiding it, and I believe and I felt that they are more, anxious or feeling bad of just fully shoving it down, because sometimes it catches up on us,
For sure. I think it's the most underdeveloped skill in the world to just like actually be able to hold uncomfortable emotions and not like, oh, I'll just change topic, Like I think I realized that the only people who have been good at holding, like being able to make my emotions feel held have been people who themselves have had to go through a lot and find peace in the pain. And a lot of the time it's people that have lost a parent themselves when they were quite young. And adults that I can tell sort of either never lost somebody close to them really until like older in age, and so they never developed the skill, or have just been ignored, like bottling the emotions up, and they hold a lot of pain from it that they never processed. And so this makes them very uncomfortable because it's making them face their own grief that they've been avoiding. Like I can see it in some adults. It's crazy, like I can see them be so uncomfortable with the emotion. And I don't know their story, but it feels to me that it's like there's some loss that they haven't processed before. I don't get mad at them. I just more so actually feel sad for them because I realize the amount that probably they must be bottling up, right? Like I just realize it's actually a shame not a shame, but it's too bad for them because their life must be actually quite difficult, right?
It becomes like a prison almost, right? Like a prison from being able to communicate or express yourself and talk to others or listen to others or share realities with someone else if you are not able to, not being mad at anyone or anyone tuning in and listening now. Like it's only love and empathy, like obviously, like only compassion to these parts, but it's maybe an invitation as well for us and for people listening to even more curiously look at the things that we are avoiding maybe, or when we get too scared when a topic comes up. Because
I think it's like when you feel an emotion that is uncomfortable, it's interesting because I believe that ancient civilizations probably had developed a more deeper spiritual approach to handling these emotions, like because you couldn't distract yourself as much as you can now. And I think that you had the elders that had the wisdom, right? That when a young person felt the pain, you'd go speak to the elder. Now our elders, we don't speak to them in the same way anymore.
Put them into like some old home.
We don't realize that like, oh, our elders, they've lived through exactly what we're living through now. And they can actually help us because they've done it, and we don't value that wisdom anymore. Like we're disconnected from it. And I think that it's made us less emotionally in tuned and less human, really.
I think like to get an elder mentor, it's easy to say these things, but literally, like listen to these words, right? To get an elderly mentor who has walked the paths that you haven't walked yet. Like there's this quote saying, right, I can only see this far because I've sat on the shoulders of giants. Like the elders are the ones who have, not necessarily everyone, I wouldn't take advice from any and every elder, but there are so many elders out there, who actually can instill like wisdom.
I mean, you've been good with that. You've always had like elders as like your friends, like not like
friends,
like friends that are older. I haven't had that in the same. I mean, I've been very close to my grandparents, especially my grandma on my dad's side and my mom's side too. But it's
I didn't have any close grandparents when growing up, because they passed some before I was born, and my grandma was living in Stockholm, I was living in south of Sweden, and my other older relative, grandpa, was living in England, so I didn't have anyone close to me. That's why I also wanted to go to a retirement home and find a grandpa, right? Which was the inspiration to our episode when we went and lived at the retirement home for 48 hours. When we met Dorothy, 102 years old, who we went to Australia with, her seventh continent, who became the oldest person to visit her seventh continent. I dreamt about her 2 nights ago, by the way. It was so real dream. I'm gonna text her again. We speak now and then. And now No, it was maybe 2 months ago, but we text. But yeah, when I was 20 years old, yeah, I made a phone call to a 70-year-old lady and asked her if she wanted to have a cup of coffee with me. Now when I think back at that, it's pretty insane, bro. But I found her number in, gosh, I'm gonna sound old now, but I found her number like in some, telephone book. Shit, I'm sounding old saying this, but we had this telephone book, whatever. My mom helped me with finding her number. It was probably on the internet as well, or I don't know. Maybe it was, but anyhow, my mom helped me find her number. We found her number, and I just called her, and she was cooking food. It was like 8 in the evening. Who calls on 70-year-old lady 8 in the evening? And she was like, "Hey, there, Lou." I was like, "Hello, it's Lou." I'm like, "Hey, hi." I'll do it in English now, but like, "Hi, my name is Staffan. I saw you do this speech here. I saw on an event, and she had been speaking about, compassion and love and living from your heart and these things, and I just resonated with it so strongly. She like blew me away, and I was like, could I buy you an inspirational coffee and just talk about life?" And she said it's best described from her, but this comes from her. She said that so many people always asked her if she wanted to, have a coffee with her or be mentor with her, etc. And she always often said no because, it's impossible to say yes to everyone. But it was something within her, she said she wanted to say yes to this boy, as she called it. It's best described from her. I don't like talking about myself in that sense, but she said it was some strong calling within her that said, I'm going to say yes to this. To
Probably
this boy.
genuine curiosity and not like wanting to take something from her, but just valuing her as the wisdom that she's gathered. Right?
Yeah. And that led to, 13-year-old friendship. Yeah. And we still talk. I called her now on the trip as well.
But that's the thing, right? This is a woman who's actually faced her emotions, right, and dealt with them, and you can the elders that like just drank their pain away, right, or whatever they did to avoid it, may struggle with the same level of wisdom, because if you think about it, when you think about an elder, right, like if you close your eyes and you think about, okay, you have one person that has faced their emotions, faced their problems, and like not ran away from them, had the hard conversations, been honest with themselves, and then the other person avoided it their whole life. They never told their husband or their wife like who they really are, right? And they've have all this unprocessed grief. Like, who do you think is going to hold more wisdom, right? But who do you think has gone through more temporary moments of pain, right, of acceptance, the anti-fragile approach, and the other one has avoided it, but then lived in a quiet pain for their whole life, right? And that person is gonna they haven't actually learned how do you dismantle and deconstruct and process challenging emotions.
And that's the wisdom we need to take care of, right? Like
that's what wisdom creates, gets created.
Regardless if we learn it, I'm not trying to put on us on any high horses now, but if we learn something from an elder and we send it forward to someone else, like regardless of where it comes from, but like to hold some kind of universal wisdom of like, express your pain. That's like a universal wisdom I believe in, to express your pain, and the pain that is expressed, it sets you free. She was always saying to me, I ljuset spricker alla spöken. In the light, the ghost disappears. In the light, the ghost disappears. And that stuck with me forever, That made me believe in, that when I express pain, it sets me free. Doesn't make me that able to always do it. I was still afraid sometimes. I was not able to do it. Sometimes my body was not able to like express it because it was too painful, But, bit by bit to express things.
Yeah.
Small fires. I've been speaking of small fires 5 times now, but I really like that concept.
It's a powerful concept.
Yeah, it's a powerful concept.
And I think that's the whole, I mean, that's where wisdom gets created, right? And if you're actually able to speak to elders that have the wisdom, you can maybe save some time, right? You can skip certain painful lessons if you actually listen. Yeah. But sometimes you need to experience it yourself to actually learn it, right? I think like the hardest lessons you could read it, you could read all about it in a book, but then when you're in it and you have to actually apply it.
Unfortunately, yeah. And that's why you have to go out and live it, right? I was watching the movie Into the Wild. Have you watched that movie?
No, actually. I've heard about it. So many people have told me about it because...
You who are listening now, have you watched that movie? No, I'm just kidding. You can't reply right now, but maybe write in the comment section. But Into the Wild, the guy... Oh, I forgot his name now. Yeah. He said... I found it here. I found it here on my mobile. He said, "The core of a man's spirit comes from new experiences." Christopher McCandles. There we have his name as well. I had to check it on my phone here. Christopher McCandles, bless your spirit. This is a real story. You should watch the movie if you haven't. Not going to do any spoiler alerts, but bless his spirit. And yeah, he believed in a free life, and he believed that the great experience is what we go out and experience, right? So we can learn, right, that we believe in as well, right? But sometimes we just need to go out and learn it and live it, right? Yeah. And he did say as well in the end, I reflected about that the greatest joy is the joy that is shared. He said it with some different words as well, but I did enjoy that as well, because he did a lot of things by himself, but one of his deepest wisdom was like that shared joy is the best.
Yeah, no, 100%. I agree with that. And I think, yeah, I mean, learning how to appreciate all of these things and then going through it and having grace and patience with yourself as you deal with the tough emotions, I think is where wisdom eventually gets seated, right? You have to go through it, and then you go through the pain. Like, there's no wisdom without pain.
There's no wisdom without pain. I don't know if I agree with it, but I see where you're going, yeah.
I think every wise person have lived through like experiences of pain that they had to learn how to handle.
Yeah, I agree with that. I didn't mean to just not disagree with you for the sake of it, but it's at the thought of what you said there.
Yeah.
But yeah, every experience doesn't have to include
No,
pain,
you don't need to have pain every time.
But pain is uninventable, yeah.
Yeah, inevitable, yeah.
How do you say it?
Inevitable. Yeah.
Oh, that's a tough word.
That's a tough one.
In every episode, there's like one word that is very tough.
You got it.
We almost have our thing in our podcast, like one word.
Sure.
How do you say it?
Inevitable.
Inevitable.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, I'm gonna write it down in my English list, you know.
Yeah,
One day I'm gonna release, you know, Staffan Taylor's learning English document, you know.
Yeah.
It's actually called just English practice, and then it's just like adding words all the time. But it is, yeah.
I think it is inevitable. And I think someone who's had an easy life and never really dealt with many challenges, I think isn't going to be as wise as the person who had to go through a lot of things and had to learn how to reinvent themselves through difficult
Can I share
chapters.
a story on that?
Yeah.
There is like some research done on, you know, people who experienced pain and these things. So I can't recall exactly, it was many years ago that I heard this, but the bottom line is that there was one person who unfortunately been living in a war zone and experienced war, and then this person fled and got to a new country, and so. And then this other person, he was brought up in, you know, somewhat normal home, etc. Didn't have any real challenges and struggles. And then at some point, this person entered a relationship, and then his partner broke up with him. They saw that the person who experienced the first pain here with like someone breaking up with him, he was feeling more mentally unstable, like feeling terrible in his life. Like he got to like, had like some real help, and the other person could handle it better. I don't have the details of this situation here, but the end of the core was that, you know, if you don't have small fires, right? If you don't have these hardships in life that you learn from, and then one thing happened, your whole life just cracks, you know. And this was in Sweden. I'm trying to recall. Would love to look into this again. But
I think
the core of it, like, you know, it's good with these challenges, right? Or else life's gonna break you when something happens if you don't like are like ready for it. You're not prepared for it. You're not like trained for it.
Like, I think the reason why you train yourself to be uncomfortable, to be comfortable in discomfort, is so that you can sort of prepare yourself also for the moments in life where things don't go how you'd like them to go, right? You can never prepare yourself to like some of the pain that life will eventually throw at you, but you can develop some systems and methods and ways that you know how to handle challenging emotions that you can practice, you know, in other ways, right? I think becoming more emotionally in tuned is an uncomfortable thing for people to do. Becoming physically healthy is an uncomfortable thing to do. All of these things will eventually help you if one day you have to deal with a great pain, right? And so for me, the idea of seeking discomfort is the idea of antifragile. Like, you push yourself to, I think if you're at home and you're just on the couch scrolling on social media, right? That person is going to be less prepared to deal with life than the person who is out there, who is like doing therapy, who is exercising and getting physically healthy and communicating openly and honestly with people that they love, that's much more uncomfortable, right, than just being at home and ordering Uber Eats and not doing anything. But that person will be much more prepared the day that, because I don't think it's possible to get away from life unscathed. I think every person eventually has to face it, whether they are prepared and want to do it or whether they are not prepared.
I really want to get rid of my phone, by the way. Can we talk more about that in another episode?
Yeah, I mean, the phone is definitely, like, I think one of the worst. Like, sometimes I wonder if, like, we're going to look back at the lifestyle that we currently are living in, where people, go to an office, they have to sit, at an office for 8 to 10 hours a day, getting paid barely enough to, like, pay for their rent and their food, and can't even have, like, save money. And then the free time that we have, we're glued to a screen. Like, I hope that the future will not look like this.
Yeah.
I hope that the future will be more human, more connected, more grounded.
Yeah.
Because
I hope so too, 200%.
Because currently we're not there, and I think that is a new, topic of conversation. Maybe we shouldn't start at the end of this podcast.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring it up because I have so much emotions around my phone.
Yeah.
But to use your phone to listen to a podcast episode, that's very welcome. To use your phone to, like, subscribe, that's very welcome. To leave a comment, to like, that's very appreciated. So that we can do.
Are you using this moment to plug the podcast?
Exactly.
Nice. Good timing.
Everybody. We could also use this moment to send a prompt. Should we send a prompt when it comes to being uncomfortable with something? In many of these episodes, we're sending out a prompt to people who are listening and tuning in of something we can reflect upon together.
I have one. What is an emotion that you are uncomfortable feeling that you would like to practice sitting with more often?
What is an emotion that you're uncomfortable sitting with that you would like to like? Okay, that's beautiful. I think you gave me a compliment before of being good in holding space with uncomfortable conversation and those things. And yes, I agree, like, that doesn't really fear me. But sitting by myself, I would like to invite even more. So my answer is, on the question here, to sit with myself when...
In stillness.
In stillness, yeah. Even more than I'm doing now. And that is connected to the phone. Sometimes I succeed very well with it and meditate and all of these things. Right now I'm, like, a little bit off with the meditation, so I'm gonna jump back on the train. Do you have any answer on the question now, or do you wanna sit on it?
I think I'll reflect on it a little bit. But I am actively practicing this, actually, looking at, like, what are the emotions that I'm uncomfortable feeling.
Yeah.
And trying to my best not to be. But it's the tough one.
Shall I tell you something that is not tough? What? To receive good love and good energy from you people out listening. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. If you want to leave a comment,
I don't know. I knew you were gonna say something. But I was like, I didn't expect it to be a random transition.
A very goofy one.
Well,
no, but I think it has come to its time here.
And we should be getting back to weekly uploads now, at least for the weekly. Next few weeks, and we'll try to get ahead a little bit. The next few weeks, we'll take you along on the behind the scenes of the wild adventure we were on, because there's so much that happened that is not in the episode, that sometimes the things that happen around it are even more interesting than what happens in the actual episode. So stay tuned. We're so excited to release these. Like, genuinely, I think we've been on a, like, generational run of filming here, like we haven't in a long time.
Yeah.
And I haven't had this much fun filming, I think, in a very, very long time.
So much fun.
Like, it's one of my favorite trips, like, ever, I think.
Yeah, same.
Like,
same,
ever.
Same.
Like, I don't know. So I'm curious to see if it will translate.
I hope so.
Yeah.
But as long as we had fun, right? Same with this podcast, we're saying it, as long as we have fun.
Yeah.
And so far, like, I'm having great fun here. And I know you said the same as well. And that's why I just want to let everyone know that we missed now two Sundays, but every Sunday, that's our intention. If you want to keep Sundays, let us know. Or is it better to post on Mondays? We're considering, because Sundays come YouTube videos. So let us know. But we're super stoked, super excited. It was just insane. We said it a couple of times, but I hope you're gonna enjoy the following Sundays. Just please watch it on a TV or on your computer or however you want to watch it. But because I dare to say we're about to release some bangers. I'm saying it with all humbleness, but we're about to release some. For me, I can say that with confidence because for me it's bangers, and I'm gonna look forward to watching these videos in 20 years, in 30 years. That's a bold statement, but like I think we captured something that is like yeah, a window into like a special world, and you realize very unexpected ones as well. So thank you to everyone again. I just want to say thank you. So
Thank you.
guys. Thank you.
And we'll see you next week.